And good afternoon. Welcome back to the Over 40s Fitness Podcast. My name is Tristan Lowe, and today's short discussion is about sleep and what I've understood and learnt with my personal training clients and my own body with regards to sleep. I remember a phrase from a famous rap star by the name of Nas, a rapper from Queensbridge in New York, who rose to fame in the early to mid 90s. And on his debut album, which was named Illmatic, the big lead track on the album was called New York State of Mind, and in that he coined a famous phrase. This is the rapper Nas from New York, and the phrase was, "I never sleep because sleep is the cousin of death." Just let that sink in. I never sleep because sleep is the cousin of death. Well, that might have been a great hip hop rap line, one that's stood the test of time as well, but it's not true. Sleep is good for us, okay? And what you're looking at here, for those of you watching on YouTube, is in one of my study books back from 2008, and these are essentially sleep patterns drawn into a graph. Okay, they talk about stages of sleep and all the different stages. Okay, so as a personal trainer, what I find with many clients from the age of, let's say, 30 and above, they suffer, from poor patterns of sleep. Now, it normally comes in the guise of, during a consultation, they'll mention that they're getting broken sleep, and that's they're going to bed at anything between 10 and 11:30 on a work night, and they're awake sometimes till, believe it or not, until 1 a.m. or even later, and they don't get up until sort of 6 or 7 a.m. but they've not had that deep sleep they need. Next up, I get clients that come and they'll mention to me that they'll go to bed at a good time, again, let's say between 10 and 11, and they'll sleep within 20-30 minutes, but they're awake throughout the night. Waking up sometimes every hour or every hour and a half, and they could be lying awake in bed for anything for up to 3 or 4 hours, which is almost purgatory if it's repeated over and over again, and it becomes chronic, and then it gets diagnosed by a specialist as insomnia at some point. But let's look at reasons why, and I discuss this with clients on a regular basis, and of course there's a multitude of reasons why clients have poor sleep, male or female, young or old. Now, the first thing that we mention is lack of daylight and lack of exercise. Now, if someone works in an office environment all day, what they're getting essentially is artificial light. Unless, of course, they sit by the office window and it's clear enough to let a lot of light in. And even then, it's not the same as going outside. We don't get a lot of vitamin D in our country, in the UK, during the winter periods, let's say November to February, certainly those sort of 4 months. And so possibly it's a good time of the year if you've got the time and the financial resources to go on holiday, go to Florida or go to Tenerife or go to a warm climate, even if it's just for 5 to 7 days, and get some vitamin D. But otherwise, you should be getting good quality vitamin D from your nutrition, and then if need be, from some sort of supplement. Okay, I myself, I take a vitamin D spray on the inside of my cheek each morning, and of course sometimes I'll take some tablets, but generally I get daylight on a regular basis because I like going out walking, hiking, trekking, cycling. All right, now if you're not getting enough daylight throughout the day, your body's circadian rhythm is almost tricked into believing that it's not actually daytime when it is anything after 7 a.m. And so what can happen is you've not gone through that 6 to 8 hours or even 10 hours that you of daylight. So when the night time comes, your body doesn't shut down, the brain, the nervous system, okay, your organs don't slow down, and the brain activity doesn't slow down because it can't distinguish properly between day and night because you're in a dark environment all day. And that can even be, again, in an office environment, but it's not natural daylight. So my suggestion is to get out each morning, certainly from March onwards, and go for a walk in the morning. You know, whether it be at 5 a.m, 6 a.m, or 6:30, go and have a half an hour walk. Even if it's cold, you're still going to get some sunlight and daylight, which when it comes to night time, that is over a space of time, and there's enough evidence, to prove it, that it's going to assist with you falling asleep and staying asleep. All right, now, let's look at another one, and that's poor nutrition. If you are constantly taking in too much sugar into your body, and that's carbohydrates and sugar. We're not talking protein, vitamins, or good fats, sugar. All right, okay, and that can also be from healthy forms of sugar, even from fruit. But if you're putting too much sugar into your body, your body's got to try and process that sugar. It's got to try and do something with that quick or slow release energy source that you've put in your body throughout the day. And you'd be surprised how many people eat poorly at night time. They always have a dessert after dinner, which is predominantly sugar based, to get them off the salt and fat taste from the food. So we got clients that will drink alcohol, eat candies or sweets or biscuits or cakes. Biscuits and cakes is something that I thought went out in the 80s, but it's not. It's still here. People still eat cakes and biscuits as if it's a birthday party, but they eat that in their house on a regular basis. They make a decision to go to the shops to buy highly processed, sugar-laden foods. We'll call them food, they're not actual food, and eat it on a regular basis at night. So their body's literally riddled with sugar, and that's exclusive of alcohol and fizzy drinks, which people drink at night. And then they wonder why they either can't get to sleep or they've got broken sleep. So we've touched on daylight, we've touched on, or lack of it, we've touched on too much sugar in the body. So my suggestion there is to make a definite start to reducing the amount of sugar you put in your body. And the way to do that is to stop having desserts after your dinner in the evening. You might have some sugar throughout the day, a bit of dark chocolate, some fruit. Okay, that's okay. But if you're having it at 6, 7 o'clock or later at night, and it's on a regular basis, 4 or 5, 6 times a week, that is definitely going to affect your sleep. And of course, sugar can assist in your body in almost like a diuretic effect, where it comes out of it pushes water out of your body. Water goes with the sugar. The sugar and the excess sugar that your body doesn't need will go out in your urine, which means you're going to be awake at night wanting to use the gents or the ladies or whatever. So you're going to need to urinate at night because you put too much sugar in your body. It's not because you've drunk too much water. All right, the next thing with regards to sleep is the actual room that you sleep in. Your bedroom at home should have minimum things in it. Okay, it should have a bed, pillows, maybe a lamp, and maybe a drawer or something at the side. You shouldn't fill your bedroom with too many objects, because that's actual confusion in the bedroom. The bedroom's only for two things: sleeping and the other one. Okay, that's another discussion. All right, so think about it. If you've got a lot of objects and furniture and light emitting equipment, from iPhones to iPads to mobile phones, to laptops, to TV screens, to radios, you've got all those devices in your bedroom. Okay, on top of that, you've got clothing everywhere, clean clothing, dirty clothing, whatever. You shouldn't do that. Your bedroom should, at the very most, have 3 pieces of furniture in: a bed, a bedside table, maybe a lamp. Okay, if you're stuck for space and you've got a wardrobe, that wardrobe should be closed. It shouldn't become a distraction. Now, that's easier said than done. I myself, I'll take sometimes my smartphone or my iPad to bed, listen to some music or whatever. But generally, I never have a TV screen or laptops in the bedroom. Again, it will almost certainly start to affect your sleep. So what I would say is, I'm not going to completely subscribe to you should turn off your phone, shut the battery down, and then put it in another room, because you may need that phone to make an emergency call or receive an emergency call, irrespective of the time, if you've got friends, family or loved ones. So I would say keep your phone possibly in your bedroom if you're an adult, but you're responsible enough to turn it on silent, or at least turn it down so the light doesn't come out of the phone to where you're sleeping. Next thing is to have your room nice and cool. Yeah, your body temperature has to come down by, I think it's at the very least 1 to 2 degrees to help induce deep sleep. You don't want your bedroom warm, too warm. You don't want the radiators on throughout the evening, so when you go into your bedroom it's too warm. Ordinarily, I find that us men, we run warmer anyhow. We're literally more hot-blooded. I can hang my feet out of my bed. I'm 6'4" and 180 pounds. There's a lot of heat going throughout my body at night time, so I have to actually sometimes, even in the winter, I'll dangle one of my feet outside the bed just to help me cool down. Got a nice warm quilt on, but you want your bedroom nice and cool. I always have the window open to keep the room cool. Now you can warm the bed, maybe if you use something like a hot water bottle or you do put heating on throughout the day, but you don't want your bedroom too warm at night, because it's going to make you wake up again, because you want your body temperature to drop to induce deep sleep, and then the heat that you generate out of your body gets trapped inside your quilt or your covers. So, all right, don't have your room too hot. Keep it nice and cool. All right. Next thing is, if your husband or your wife, boyfriend or girlfriend, significant other, they're in the same bed, and they should be in the same bed as you, unless of course one of you is ill or badly injured, in which sometimes I do have clients where they'll sleep in a separate room. If the husband's got flu or the wife's got flu, or they're sick, or they're quite badly ill, I can understand why they would actually sleep in separate rooms, just to actually ensure that at least one of you gets a good night's sleep. I understand that. That's actually quite a sensible thing to do, but I wouldn't make it a habit. Okay, so you've got to think about when you're in bed with your significant other as well, you need to have your bed should be big enough, so you're not literally on top of each other, because at that point you're trying to sleep now, you're trying to actually get some deep quality sleep. And also, you don't have to have matching pillows either. If you find that, personally, I like to sleep on one pillow at the most, and in some cases, even flat without a pillow. I don't like my neck pushed up at a sharp angle, for anything up to 7 or 8 hours. So, choose a pillow that suits you. If you need more pillows or less, you need a stronger pillow with more down in it, one that's more stronger than the other one, then use it. Your pillow is the only part of your bed that your face really comes into contact with, so that should be something unique to you. So if you find that you sweat too much at night and your face is wet, okay, so I'd always say wash your hands and face before you go to bed. Keep your hands clean, because if your hands aren't clean and your face touches your hands while you're asleep, any kind of senses or smells on your hands can trigger you waking up at night. Always wash your hands thoroughly before you brush your teeth, before you go to sleep. Keep your mouth and your hands clean when you go to bed. It helps to induce deep sleep, and of course it takes away bacteria and smells and whatever, and to stop you from waking you up. All right, now the next thing with regards to sleep, if you find that you struggling with your sleep, I would suggest make a time that you have to get out of bed. Let's say 6:30 in the morning, and that's the time you've got to get up to start your day, to get up, take your shower, have your breakfast and go to work. I would suggest doing that again, even on your days off work. Certainly either Saturday or Sunday. What you shouldn't do is lie in bed until the cows come home on a Saturday or Sunday. It's that you think it's a good thing to do. In the long run, it's not. Now, if you've been injured or ill and you need some deeper sleep, or you've been jet lagged, or you've travelled throughout the night, that's fine. But ordinarily, what you shouldn't do is spend Saturday and Sunday morning lying in bed, aimlessly scrolling through your phone, watching what other people are doing. You should get up within 15, 20 minutes at the very max, the same time that you get up each morning on a work day. And because otherwise, what you're going to do, you're going to spend Saturday and Sunday, that time you spend in bed, it means then that your body clock it's now been shifted almost. So instead of you feeling tired at 10:30, you're not going to start feeling tired until 11:30, and before you know it, it's midnight. So you're not actually going to sleep until the following day. Yeah. So try to get up within 15 minutes of the same time that you do on a Saturday or Sunday, the same time you do for a work day, Monday through Friday. At the very least, one of those days, Saturday or Sunday. A lie-in shouldn't be anything more than half an hour to an hour, and that's only if that lie-in is well and truly earned, not just for some age-old tradition. Okay, whilst you're in bed, if you're wide awake in bed, you're wasting time that you could spend that time doing something good. You could be exercising, you could be working, you could be spending time outdoors in the fresh air. So don't just spend all day lying in bed unless you're injured or you're ill. All right, now what I'd like to do is just read a little paragraph from my study book, and it's about sleeping patterns. Okay, so here we are, sleeping patterns. Now, this was a finding from the NSF, the National Sleep Foundation in the USA. Okay, here we go. The National Sleep Foundation states that sleep is a basic human need and is just as important for good health as diet and physical activity. A good night's sleep allows the body to wake up fresh and invigorated, ready to face the day's coming challenges. On the other hand, too little sleep results in daytime drowsiness, inability to concentrate, increased risk of accidents, and reduces overall productivity and performance. In the long term, sleep deprivation has been linked to premature aging, digestive disturbances, psychological problems, behavioural disturbances, and a myriad of chronic diseases ranging from lowered immune system, insulin resistance, obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. And this was an article put together by the National Sleep Foundation at the Stanford School of Medicine in the USA. Now, what is, in my opinion, one of the biggest reasons why people have poor sleep? We've talked about it, from daylight, exercise, nutrition, technological devices that we take into our bedroom, and I would say stress. Stress is one of the biggest forms of something that would affect your sleep and give you, to some degree, sleep deprivation or erratic sleep. Stress comes in many forms, and we'll look at that in another podcast. But if you are suffering from degrees of stress, mental, physical, emotional, geographical, financial, okay, none of those forms of stresses are helped by poor sleep. Yeah, you can get your head around exercise, start exercising. You can get your head around improving your nutrition. Yeah, okay, all of those things: your nutrition, your exercise, your body's natural physiological state, your thought process, decisions that you make and that you make for work and at home, are all affected by poor sleep. So, personal training clients that we see it in my line of work, that's one of the biggest things. And it's surprising, it's not just with the young ones, it's quite often it's with the older ones, or the older one. I'm talking again from the age of 40 and above, right up to mid-70s. Yeah, it's very rarely that I'll come across a client and they'll come into their session and we'll go through a quick checklist of nutrition, and we'll talk about sleep. It's very rarely do I get a client who said, yeah, great, I just slept for 8-9 hours, I'm broken. It's almost unheard of. And if it is, it's 1 in 50. I don't know the exact number, but it's certainly a small amount. Okay, so sleep, going back to the opening to this guy here, for those who watch on YouTube, this is Naz. Okay, sleep. He never sleeps because sleep is the cousin of death. Well, I know he sleeps now because he's a multi-millionaire. All right, so he should sleep well now. Okay, but money doesn't always improve your sleep. What it does improve is the quality of your sheets and your pillowcases. You might have Egyptian cotton for all I know, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who makes your bedspread, who makes your bed. That's quite an important subject as well. I spent some time a year and a half ago choosing a better bed for me, one that's got a stronger base. So I don't want to be sinking into my bed, got a big, long, heavy body. It needs to sleep right. So, okay, let's look at that then. Consider part of your healthy start to the new year, even though we're in late February now, is your sleep. And of course, with the spring and summer to come, it's going to be lighter earlier in the morning. So you've got to actually factor that in. Get yourself some blackout blinds or blackout curtains, yeah? And remember, keep your hands clean, brush your teeth before you go to bed, have a glass of water, and wake up feeling refreshed. All right, my name's Tristan Lowe. It's the Over 40s Fitness Podcast, and the next one we'll talk about is stress levels and how to manage it. Okay, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like the channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.